NFC and AFC championship on Sunday. Final 4 teams left in the NFL to decide who's going to be playing in Super Bowl 59. Two great matchups on either side. We got an NFC East rivalry for the NFC championship between the Commanders and the Eagles. And then in the AFC, this is turning into the biggest rivalry in the NFL. Patrick Mahomes versus Josh Allen, the Bills versus Chiefs. Once again in the playoffs for the 4th time. This is going to be a lot of fun to watch. And starting off with the AFC Championship, going to be giving you my prediction for the game. But the Bills and Chiefs, 4th time we're going to see them in the playoffs. Chiefs have won the first 3 games. But the Bills are 4-1 versus Kansas City in the regular season, but have not won in the postseason as of yet. Big history between these two. The first playoff game between these two is the 2021 AFC Championship. First time the Bills have reached that point until now. And the 2022 divisional round game, of course, was one of the greatest games we've seen in a long time. That obviously was a 13-second game where Patrick Mahomes was able to tie the game with 13 seconds left on 2 plays, and Harrison Butker made the field goal, and then Chiefs won in overtime. And that, of course, eventually changed the overtime rules. And then last year, in the divisional round, this was at Buffalo this time, but the Chiefs were able to win 27-24 in a game that Buffalo, I think, was predicted to win. They led 24-20 heading into the 4th quarter, but Kansas City scored a touchdown. Josh Allen had 3 touchdowns in that game. He played well overall. But that was the game where Tyler Bass, of course, missed a 44-yard field goal with just under 2 minutes to go in that game, and the Chiefs were able to win that. Of course, Buffalo's done great in the regular season versus the Chiefs, just like this year. They gave the Chiefs their only legit loss of the season so far. And their best chance to beat KC is right now. I mean, Josh Allen is going to be the MVP of the league, and the Chiefs are looking a little bit weaker than they have before. Obviously, with that 16-2 record, it doesn't seem that way, but the offense for Kansas City is just not up to the mark they were last year. They barely got it done against the Texans. Their defense is a solid defense, but it's not the same Chiefs team as before. They've been able to win a lot of games on the last play, just here and there, and found a way to get it done. But Buffalo is a team that the Chiefs are not going to be able to beat like that, like we've seen earlier this year. And I think Buffalo's going to have to be able to run the ball with James Cook and Josh Allen, of course, using his legs. He's almost unstoppable when that happens. And then no turnovers. Of course, you have to control time of possession against Kansas City. And those silly penalties, you have to control yourself. And you have to be smart when playing the Chiefs. And the defense should just play a clean game, no big plays. And for the Chiefs, I think Mahomes just has to play a great game. And they have to force Josh Allen to really carry that offense, have no running game and support for him otherwise. And I did have the Chiefs reaching the Super Bowl and winning it this year in my preseason pick for the Super Bowl. But I am going with the Bills to win this one in Arrowhead Stadium Sunday evening in Kansas City. Bills get their first playoff win against the Chiefs. I think Buffalo, they're the better team right now. I just think they are. Their offense is better defensively. I think they're about the same. But I do think I trust Josh Allen to make those big plays. Kansas City, to me, as good as their record is, they're just not as dangerous. And I do think Josh Allen will make enough plays and the Bills defense can hold it down enough for the Bills to be able to win and head to the Super Bowl for the first time in over 30 years. And I think the Chiefs offense to struggle a little bit. Now moving on to the NFC Championship, Commanders on a historic run. Of course, first time in the NFC Championship in 33 years. This is the best season they've had since that time with what I think is the best rookie quarterback of all time in Jaden Daniels. Making no mistake, an average offense around him. Defense, but he's making big plays with his arm and legs. No costly mistakes. He's very accurate. The Eagles have been incredible all year long. Best roster in football, arguably. With Saquon Barkley, who's been carrying them on offense. Great offensive line, talented defense. Commanders, I think, would need to play, obviously, with no turnovers. They had a couple each time they played the Eagles. They cannot do that. Have a running game. Jaden Daniels, of course, has to play great. Can't take too many sacks. I think defensively, they have to go all in on Saquon Barkley. As for the Eagles, they have to get after Jaden Daniels and make him one-dimensional in the passing game and be able to run that play action off of Saquon Barkley. Commanders won this last matchup at home. I think it was week 15, 36-33, even though they had 5 turnovers, 2 of them by Jaden Daniels, and 13 minutes less of time of possession, they still won because Daniels threw 5 touchdowns, and they came back from down 13 with 7 minutes left. Obviously, Jalen Hurts was injured in that game, but I mean, they came back 22 points in the fourth quarter, a game-winning touchdown to Crowder with 6 seconds left. I mean, Saquon Barkley had a big game too, but the Eagles still lost that one. And the Eagles won earlier in the year, week 11, 26-18 in Philly. Commanders had the 10-6 lead heading into the fourth quarter, but Philly scored 22 big touchdowns by Barkley, and the game was over. Daniels threw an interception as well in that one. But I think the Commanders are way better than they were at that point in the season. Jaden Daniels is even better, which is remarkable. But I am going with the Commanders in a huge upset in Philly to head to the Super Bowl. Eagles definitely the favorites. You know, we talked about it, best roster. These two in the NFC East rivalry, it's going to be a close game, obviously. Just like how they've been in the last 2 matchups. Jaden Daniels has experience versus this Philly defense, and I think he makes a couple of big plays, and they continue the momentum they built, beating the Bucs, beating the Lions, and I think the Commanders' defense forces Jalen Hurts to throw more. They'll be able to limit Barkley just enough, and they do get a key turnover. So that's my prediction. Bills, Commanders in the Super Bowl. Would pick the Bills at this point to win the Super Bowl, so we'll see. Be sure to hit the like, comment, subscribe, and who you think's going to win the AFC Championship. I'll see you in the next one.